Good evening and welcome to the news at 10. The government condemned the cowardly terrorist attack that targeted a Tunisian National Guard's patrol in Jendouba province, killing and injuring a number of security personnel. Minister of State for Media Affairs and Government spokesperson Jumana Ghnemat stressed that Jordan stands by Tunisia in its efforts to counter the threat of terrorism. She also affirmed that this terrorist act requires concerted efforts by the international community to uproot terrorism, which claims the lives of innocent victims. The minister offered condolences to families of the victims and wished the injured a speedy recovery. Prime Minister Omar Razaz honored an investigative team of the Jordan Anti-Corruption Commission who succeeded in restoring 20 million dinars. The case came as a result of financial, technical, and administrative violations in construction projects carried out by contractor companies for the Jordan Phosphate Mining Company. The probe team unraveled a large waste of public funds in the implementation of these construction works during the period 2012-2017. Prime Minister Omar Razaz stressed the importance of activating the role of the concerned ministries in following up and supervising societies within their jurisdiction. In a circular, the Prime Minister asked the Ministries of Social Development, Industry, Trade, Supply, Planning and International Cooperation to follow up and supervise societies. The circular confirmed the mandate given to the concerned minister in the event of doubts about the work or accounts of any society to set up audit committees. The circular also stressed the importance of institutionalizing the follow-up process through the creation of administrative units. The Premier also underlined the necessity to follow up societies that have red flags in the money laundering or terror funding. Minister of Foreign Affairs and Expatriates Ayman al-Safadi met with Secretary of the Executive Committee of the Palestine Liberation Organization, Saeb Erekat, where he was briefed by Safadi on His Majesty's talks in Washington. The two diplomats stressed the similarity of the Jordanian and Palestinian positions regarding the requirement of resolving the conflict, achieving peace, and meeting the legitimate rights of the Palestinian people. Safadi and Erekat warned of the consequences of the absence of real prospects to end the occupation, stressing the importance of launching an immediate and effective international effort to break the political deadlock. The two also condemned the unilateral Israeli moves that aim at changing the facts on the ground and undermining the two-state solution. Separately, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Expatriates Ayman Safadi met with EU ambassadors to Jordan and discussed the Syrian crisis development. The meeting outlined developments in the south of Syria, where the foreign minister discussed Jordanian efforts to ensure the security and safety of civilians and provide them with assistance on their land. He also underlined the need to intensify international efforts to realize a political solution accepted by the Syrians to preserve the unity, security and stability of their country. Safadi also commended the EU's support for the kingdom to help it shoulder the burden of refugees, stressing the importance of partnership with United Nations organizations to meet the needs of refugees. An official military source denied reports that the Jordanian armed forces fired at displaced persons on the Jordanian-Syrian border, saying that what was being circulated was not true at all. The source said that the report, which was published through social media networks, was followed by a video from the Syrian interior. The source confirmed the video is old and that its purpose is to harm the role of Jordan and its armed forces. The source stressed that such rumors and fabricated materials refer to some terrorist elements who try to exploit what is going on by spreading such rumors. Almost all the Syrians who fled an army offensive in the southwest to gather in a free trade zone at the Jordanian border have gone back into Syria, according to a senior UN official. Anders Pedersen, the UN resident and humanitarian coordinator in Jordan, says several thousand people had congregated near the Nasib crossing, with only about 200 remaining. The United Nations says the Russian-backed offensive against insurgents has uprooted more than 320,000 people in the past 2 weeks, the biggest exodus of the 7-year war.
The situation right now, though, of course, remains very difficult, and it's of huge concern to us. We keep on repeating the message by...
4 of the 12 boys who have been trapped in a flooded cave in northern Thailand for more than 2 weeks have been rescued, as the operation was put on hold overnight to allow oxygen tanks to be refilled. But authorities face a new race against time, as heavy rain, which had been predicted later this week, pummeled the cave complex shortly after the first boys were freed. This report has more.
They've been trapped underground for more than 2 weeks, and now the first schoolboys have emerged from a flooded cave in northern Thailand. 12 boys and their soccer coach went missing in the Tam Luang cave complex on June the 23rd. On Sunday, 13 foreign divers and 5 members of Thailand's elite Navy SEALs began an operation to rescue them. That mission involves guiding the boys through flooded and narrow tunnels that claimed the life of a former Thai Navy diver on Friday. Reuters' Panu Wongchaum is at the site.
We've been told that this operation could take up to 3 to 4 days, and we were told that they will gradually bring the boys out one by one, with 2 divers per one of the trapped boys. What we know also is that the authorities say they are racing against time, and this is the perfect opportunity as the rain is about to arrive, and if they don't act now, they may have to reassess, and the rescue operation may have to be delayed for a long time.
The first boys to emerge were given a physical examination before being transferred to hospital. 13 medical teams, each with their own helicopter and ambulance, have been stationed outside the cave as the authorities continue to race against time and the weather.
And over to Russia and the World Cup games of the day. No, I'm just joking. Today and tomorrow, we're all taking a much-needed break from all the excitement. However, fans of the final 4 teams are still celebrating in Russia and their own countries. Most notably were 2 British football fans who left England through Dover on June 12th in a caravan and have been on the road ever since, traveling from one match to the next. Now they're heading back to Moscow, hoping to see England win their semi-final clash with Croatia on July 11th, and then the final on July 15th.
This is 1 bedroom. And
even Pope Francis weighed in on the games during his address in St. Peter's Square and offered words of consolation to Brazilian pilgrims after their country's World Cup loss on Friday to Belgium. The Pope, who is Argentinian, has said he follows soccer closely.
A tutti una buona domenica. Per favore, non dimenticatevi di pregare per me. Buon pranzo e arrivederci.
And finally, a look at the weather. Relatively hot conditions are expected to prevail in the hilly areas and the eastern plains, while it will be hot in other parts of the kingdom with northwesterly moderate winds. Daytime temperatures expected for Amman will reach 35 degrees Celsius, dropping down to 21 degrees at night. And further south in the Gulf of Aqaba, very hot conditions are expected, with temperatures reaching a high of 42 degrees, sliding down to 28 degrees at night. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news. I'm Nancy Khair. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.